Hello again, I'm Dennis and welcome to the 5th video of C# Fundamental tutorial. Okay, again, if you want to get a clear picture of what we're doing here, I would advise you to go and watch other videos from the timeline 1 to 4 before joining the 5. Alright, as you can see, we've covered issues like variables, data types, subroutine, conditional statement, iteration statement, and we're still on collections. On collections, we've done arrays. I've given huge explanations about collection generally in the first place. So if you want to get the clear picture of collection from the onset, I would advise you to watch the 4th video before continuing with the 5. Okay. So what did we do? We previously did the arrays. And completely did it completely. We declared it, we added to it, we read from it. We tend to know the length and size generally. We inserted by altering the collection itself, removing from the list or from the arrays, and then ordering the arrays as in sorting it. Okay, so now what we're about doing is we are working on the list type, the list of T, otherwise known type. So that it's another type or art of collection, which I will be doing right now. To speed things up again, I have created some set of codes, just the same form the way it was. I will go to the class. This is done. Close it, and we go here. Sorry, public void list of collection, close it. All right, then what do? We first of all we need to declare it. So take that out again, which I've done. I will copy that, declare the list as person. And then again we will add to that list. I'll move it away so we can see the window. Again, I have written code to speed things up, which I've done. I add a person like it was formerly with the array: James Bond, Martha, David, and Lord. All right, so and then I will print it out into a console for us to see it in action, like reading it into a console, which we will do now. Big space there. So which is that one, reading into console. And actually I'm going to copy that, or no, it's already in there. I will now call it here in my collection dot list of collection. Run it and let's see what. Brilliant, it works fine. So we have a list of outputs which has Dennis, Juroa is of index 0, James Bond is of index 1, Martha is of index 2, David Banner, Lloyd index 4, and so on. Now I'm going to show you something that I did here. Now, if you see, in my loop or in my iteration, I go in my list, which happens to be the person list that I've defined. It has a method or function called index of the name that I'm looking for. So I can possibly use that to get the index of Dennis or James Bond. Now, if you see, the previous one we defined in array, we defined them and give them the indexes ourselves. Like, I want you to be in index 1 and 2, but which I open here, I'm showing you right now. So I'm going to close this again. In this case, we are just adding them in there, and what it does, it pushes the other one. It knows automatically you are already in index 1, you are in index 2, and you are in index 3 and 4 and 5 and 4. Sorry. So it does that automatically on its own without you telling him you have to fix it in index 1 or 2. So if you see, again, it's different from the array, we are actually putting them in the fixed areas. But in the other way around, you can equally do it like this, you know. So and this is nothing less than what we have here generally, okay? What we have here, because here we're just saying you have index 1 and 2, 3, 4, and so on, you know. So sorry, index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Made a mistake there. So you know, so that's exactly what happened. So and then, but you can still get the index. You will need this in the future if you're walking and you're looking for the index of a given name in the list. Okay, and that I did extra for you just to explain that in details. All right, now let's go check what's left. We want to know the collection size itself. What do? We just go ahead and paste it there. But this time around, the collection size is different from that of an array. Here we have the count because it uses count and not length. Okay, so and the count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, when I run this, it's going to show 5. There you go. Collection length is 5. Okay, where we still have the index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Brilliant. Okay, let me go see what we still have to do. Now we have to do some inside altering the collection. Exactly. So to speed things up again, I believe I have some codes here for that as well, which I've done. Remove, exactly. So now insert and alter collection. So I'm going to copy that. I want to alter it before I print them out. So I'm going to put that here and say just pretty simple, just the way it was before. But in this case, I am inserting here. I said insert at index 2, Nelson overwrite. Okay, but in the array, what we did was quite simple. I picked up the index 2 and overwrite it. Okay, but in this case, it's different. I'm doing that directly with the insert method found in the list. Okay, and yeah, found in the list class. Okay, I'm using a method. This is a method that exists in the list class. It says insert in index 2 the name Nelson override, which will overwrite index 2, which is 0, 1, and 2. It happens to be Martha Ben. So let's run this and see how it overwrites it. Brilliant. Nelson override is of index 2. Now we've overwritten Martha generally. Okay, so I'm going to bring our board back and see what we have on board. Now remove from the list. So I'm going to bring this away again. Remove it from the list. Again, I have a code for that. I will put it here. So I will be removing from the list before adding. But now let's take the insert that we talked about before, and now let's work on the remove art. So the remove art is the same thing. So if you notice in the past video, we converted here. We converted the array into a list. We had to cast it and convert. So we have to convert and cast it into a list. Convert into a list. So we converted into a list, and then in the list class, we equally have a method called remove art, which removes an item from the list. So and that method you can see here directly. So we don't need to cast this anymore because we have it here already. It's automatically in there. We are in the list class. So we have the remove art. So remove Martha, please. So I'm going to run this. It's going to throw out Martha out. Let me run this. There you go. We have index 1 as index 0, 1, 2, and 3. There is no Martha. We have Dennis, James, David, and Lloyd. Brilliant. Okay, so but there's another one in there that you call remove item. When I say remove item, remove is that one. It takes out an item. So an item in this form should be Martha Ben is a string, and if I put it here and I'll uncomment that one out, it's still gonna do the same thing. Run it. Brilliant. No Martha Ben. So it takes out an item called Martha Ben of type string out of it. So you can, either ways, you can do it what way you want. So you can imagine you're in a loop and you want to throw out something, or you want to save the name Martha and throw it out later somewhere else, or find it in the list, or do whatever you want to do with it. So choose what works for you. Remove R or remove. It depends on you, what you want. Okay, fine. Now let's go back to the board, and we've talked about remove. Let's talk about ordering. In other words, sorting. I'm going to move this away. I'm going to sort it. How do you do that? It's pretty simple. Same way as before. I have a code here. I'm going to comment that one out, and I'm going to put that in and uncomment it. So it's just the same thing with the link method. I just go in there and said from names in person, order by names, select names. Okay, this is a variable that is in here, and the variable type is a string, which he knows automatically in this list. And please order the formation in alphabetically, so I can have them in alphabetically form, and then please select that name and put me everything back into a collection. This is nothing but a list. Okay, it gives me a list. I can equally say here to list, like converting it, and say list of string here. Does the same thing. Brilliant. So don't be confused because you see var here and whatever, or you can convert it. You can equally convert it to a list, and it does that fine. And I take that list and put it here, just the way we've been doing it here before, because this is just a list. I'm just sorting it and putting it into a new list and going through it with the for each loop, and then write them in between the blocks. Okay, so I'll run that, and you see it's sorted. There you go. David Banner, Dennis Uroa, DD, J, L, and M, completely sorted. Brilliant. Okay, so that was actually the last part of the list, and let me see what we still have in there that I wanted to create. What do we have more? We have the dictionary. So we are going to be working with the dictionary right now. Let me think. Yes, let's work on the dictionary and see how it develops. All right. To speed things up again, I have some codes. First of all, I have to create the method that does that. It's going to be that one. Sorry. Shit. It's going to be there. To speed things up, I'm going to copy that. Declare a dictionary, which I've done. Now again, I'm going to break the dictionary down for you a little bit. The dictionary is something that you use for a unique search, like storing things unique. You want to store a unique things that you want to find later. Something with a name or a person. Someone has to be unique in that list, or the object you're storing in that list has to be unique. Now, definitely the dictionary has what they call at the beginning the keys, and then inside the keys you have what they call the values. Okay, so now in this case our key is going to be the string in this form. Let me put it that way, and our values is going to be an integer in that way. So it's going to be an int, so all in one row. So definitely we're going to be having something like let me break it down again here. Something like name stored on one part, and then the key, the value stored as the key. The names will be the key. Let me make that big. Okay, and then the values will now be the age of the person will now be the values. Why am I doing that? Oh, so now be the values. So now to break that down, I've explained that where you have keys and values. The keys will be the string, and the values will be of type integer. So meaning we'll store a name of a person and then aligned with the age of the person. Let's do that quickly. I have codes been written for adding into it, which is something like that. Add to collection with names and age of person. So I have the names and then the age. So if you see, it takes two values. So I have to put an age. So and then to find them out, if I'm searching for them in the future, I can find them with a name. If I get the name of the person, then I'll definitely know the age of the person. So let's quickly print that out and see that in action. 1 minute. Again, I have some series of code that I've copied before. I'll paste them here again. So, and then I will take that one and print it out and on the console. So if you see on my for each loop, quite simple. I am going to a list of keys. So in this dictionary, I have keys. So I have a key Dennis. I have a key Bond, James Bond. I have a key Martha Ben. I have a key David Banner. And I have a key Lloyd North. Okay, so these are keys. So if you see the keys 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I tend to go here and say dot keys. So when I say keys, so for each keys, a key in here is a string. So I define the string here and said, okay, the strings that I'm defining will be stored in this names. This is a variable actually in here. So I store here and I write into the console the names like formerly before. And now to get the value of which is inside, that's the age of the key or of the person, I need to use that square bracket, put in the name inside there, and that will print out the age of the person. Then I'll be able to find the age, or rather the values. So let's print that out and see how it is in action. No, it's not working. I think I forgot something. Yes, I have to print it out here, which I've not done. Sorry about that. So I'm going to say dictionary, run that again. There you go. So you see we have it there. Dennis Uroa, a list. This is not list output, it's a dictionary anyway. I'm going to change that. Where we have Dennis Uroa, 43, age 43, James Bond 40, Martha Ben 35, David Banner 24, Lloyd North 19. So 19. Let's go back there and let's add something into it, like let's remove Martha from the list. I'll go that way and say, okay, you know what? I want to remove Martha from the list. Martha is a key. So if you're removing an item from there, you remove a key. So if you take out a key is, all keys are unique. If you try to add two times the key here, it's going to explode. So each key must be unique in the dictionary. Let's run that. Martha is out. So let me try something that I've not tried before. Let me try to add Dennis twice into it. You will see what will happen. Boom! It explodes. It tells you a key must be unique. An item with the same key has already been added. So you do not add the same key to a dictionary. A dictionary, the keys must be unique. It must be just one key all the time. At any time, do not put the same key. Even when I change this to 15, it's still gonna explode. Check this out. There you go. So same key exists. Keys must be unique in the dictionary. Never ever, don't ever try to put the same key in a dictionary. It explodes. It will always explode. So, but the only thing I can do now is watch out for this. If I say 43 and I give it, I'm going to use maybe my younger brother's name. Say, okay, Brad, you're 20, you're 43 as well, for example. So, but I can have the same values, repeat them again. That doesn't bother him. But what bothers him much is, do not change his key, because the key must be unique, because you can find him. You can't find him later. There you go. So you can change. You can have a unique values, but you're not allowed to have a unique key. Okay. Please bear that in mind. Let me take this out very fast. Bear that in mind. It's so important. And then let's print out the size of it. When I run that again, we're going to see the size of a person. Again, it's a count. So we have 5, the length of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And it has a method called count. Okay. So again, it's an integer type, a property. It's a getter. It's a property, getter property that counts. It sets the counts to be 5, and then you know the numbers of counts, and this is just the size inside. It's 5. Okay, so what we have in there, I'm going to actually. There's another method, another way to add to declare a variable in this form. I can take this out and rather declare it that way. I will free that one, uncomment it. So if you see, I just declared it on the go. On the go, I put in everything in there, and I'm going to run it. It's still going to work. That's another way of declaring the dictionary. Okay. So what else? What else is there? I'm going to sort it. So let me go sort it. Let me take this out and leave it the way that's naturally the way we did it in the first place, so you don't get confused. Okay, now I'm going to sort it, meaning I'm going to throw out this one out, and because this is the one that filled it before, same procedure like before. What I do, I just go through the list, but this time I'm going through the keys. I'm going through the keys. I will tell, I'd say, from the names in the keys, which happens to be those keys, names as keys. Please order each names and select them and store them here, print them out again. And I do the same thing with that one, which I've explained before. So I'm going to run this again. You see it in action. There you go. Works fine. Brilliant. Just as before. Okay. Now, what else do we have there? Removing, sorting. Yeah, that's it actually. That's how it's supposed to be. So, but I'm going to do a quick one. The quick one I'm going to do right now, I'm going to just give you a bonus one with observable collection. Watch out for it. Let me just see. First of all, I have to create the method for that. So I'm going to call the method observable list. Let me say public void observable lists, close it. All right. What I want to do now is I'm going to create a class called person. So I'm going to create a class called person. I'm not going to be doing it in this form where I have a string and integer type in here in the dictionary like before. I would just go here and say I need a class called person. I'll tell you the reason why I'm doing this, because based on the fact that if I want to extend the class, I want more. I want more variables in there. I want more properties in there. So in the first place, I'll do that, and I'll call this public. And then I will add a property here. It's not protected, but public. I'll call this. I'll keep it type string, and I'll call this names. Okay, and I'll do the same thing again. Oh, sorry. No, do the same thing again. This time I'm going to put that as an integer, and I'm going to call this age. All right. So now I have that. What I'll do again is I'll go down here to keep things simple, I have a code which I've done before to test. I'll just copy it and explain a little bit for you. I'll paste it there. If you see now, right here I have an observable collection, and the type is of the type of the class that I've created, which is which is a person. This is this class of this type class, the type person, and then the person is declared new, initialized, and I added like up here where we added Dennis Uroa and age. In this case, what we did here, we are assigning to the person class. Let me go straight. Name and age. I'll go back again. Now, in this case, the first block, which is that one, I say name is equals to Dennis and age is equals to that. So let me do it. Let me uncomment that one and show you. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong part. Let me uncomment that one and show you how it what I meant. I say person dot add. Sorry, what's wrong with me? Dot add new what? Look, let me take that out. What's he expecting? It's expecting what they call person item. Okay, because we've defined it that whatever it's going to take is going to take person, nothing else. That's why it shows here, you know what, I'm expecting person item, please put person item. So what in this case, I don't have anyone, so I have to define a new one. So I said new person, which is there, and then I use the shorthand to put the person in there. I can say with the curly brackets, and I say names. What do I expect here? What's expecting is expecting age and names, but I start with the names, and then I assign a name to it. In this case, I'm assigning Lloyd North to the name. So, and then I can still put a comma, and I said, okay, what you want to assign? I will assign 19 to the age. Pretty simple. I'm going to take that line of code out. It's the same thing what I just did, but that's exactly how it works. So now, what else do I want to do? I'll write that on my console line. Let me print out that very fast. To keep things simple, I've made some codes again. I'll just copy them and paste them there. Run that. Sorry, I made a mistake. I forgot to call the code here so you can print them out. So I say dot print observable list. When I run that, there you go. Dot the same thing. I have Dennis and 43 age and blah 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 and so on. So, and now I'll go back again, and now I want to print out the size. I'll do the same thing very quick. Run this again. Brilliant. Have the size, same thing. So I'll go again and I said, okay, I want to remove from it. I want to remove the Martha. It's pretty simple. If I want to take out Martha out of it, I would just go here and say, you know what? I want to take out Martha out of it. I said Dennis dot person dot remove an item from it. I can say person dot singular default. That is, I am filtering the list, the whole list that I have here. I have to filter it and get Martha out. I said, okay, you find me Martha X. That one. Sorry. X the where the names is equal to Martha. Please find me Martha Ben. That's my key now. That's what I'm looking for. Find me Martha Ben and throw it out. So when I run that, brilliant. Martha Ben is thrown out. It's no more in there. It's pretty simple. And if I want to extend, why do I use this sometimes? Why do I tend to use a class? If I want to extend it, I can go here and say, you know what? I want to add an address. I want to know the city where they live. I'll just say prop and say string and then city. Oh, that's a bad one. Okay, and now I have a city in there. When I go back here and say, you know what? Add a city to it and say city. This time I'll say Manchester. Okay, and then I'll leave the other one staying. I'm just doing that one. He lives in Manchester, and the other ones we don't know the city. When I run that, let me see if I can put here as well and say city that way, and then we just do that. When we say value dot city again, I call that, so we can, with that you can reach the properties that exist in here. Okay, pretty simple. I'll run that. Quite simple. We just put a city for Dennis, and the other ones we didn't put anything, so it runs fine. It depends on you, but I tend to do things like that because I don't use the dictionary always like that. It depends, but I know that maybe if I'm building a huge project and it's going to grow, I don't know, that things can come and change later. The clients can say, I want this and I want that again, and then it makes things complicated while you're using dictionary. Then you mess the whole thing up, and then you say, oh, you know what, I'm going to do another dictionary and add it to it and link it to the other one. That's total disaster. So what I do is I just go ahead and create a class and use my own type of class. So when it happens to be that I have to extend it, I just come in here and add something new, and it works fine for me. Brilliant. And I have clean codes. I don't have to have things doubled in my system. So, but fine. Again, you can change this with the observable lists. It's a collection. You can change it to a list. In your case, you can say, okay, I want this to be a list. Nobody cares. It works fine. The same way, same thing. No big changes. I run it. You see it quite clear. It's the same thing. They're all lists. Okay? Don't let anyone deceive you. Choose what works for you fine. Okay? You just choose your own ways, how you want it. Okay? You see, it was observable, but now it's basically a list. Okay? I think I'm behind time, about 32 minutes. Normally I want every video to be below 30, but I just made this one extra. So, but anyway, just in case you are worried about anything, don't forget to leave me a message. My email is always it's always displayed in the first time we come in the video. I always display it there. You can leave me an email if you want, if you have questions. I know if you are a beginner, it's definitely you must need somebody to talk to when you run into situations. And but just follow the videos and do them step for step. Like I said, all of these blocks that have been taken from step 1 to step 2, from all the videos, from the first video, second, third, and fourth, now fifth, going to whatever videos, as long as we're doing the videos. But bear it in mind that each and every part of the videos, or every part of the product of this project we've been writing, they have common relationship. There are things you might need for one, and there are things you might need for the other. Okay? Keep that in mind. God bless you, and watch out for my next video. See you around.